So firstly, would you tell us a little bit about where you are located?
So I'm located in London. I am at the appointment called Faith House, and we have ministry within King's Cross, so right in the middle, and we also have some ministry now up in Edmonton, which is more North London, and the surrounding areas. Actually, it's beginning to grow. Yeah, so ministry at Faith House, our mission statement is reaching individuals within the sex industry and those affected by modern slavery. We're the only Sai Shami expression in the UK that has that as their sole purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So with that unique mission statement, what was a typical day or week in ministry before lockdown and before coronavirus became a thing that we were concerned about? What did it look like?
So actually, to put a bit of a spanner in the works, one day a week, usually on a Monday, I would actually be in a male prison, HMP Pentonville, and that would be my Monday day. And we kind of went into the prison and found out what was what we would do for that day. So it could be visiting a bereaved inmate, it could be conducting a victim tracking interview, it could be doing a family tracing, it could be doing Bible study. It could be anything, and it was fun finding out what that might look like. And then with those who are vulnerable to active within or post exit prostitution, we would be doing outreaches with them, promoting holistic safety, promoting worth. We'd also run groups, so we had English class and W course, which is the women's worth course that some people have done. Ladies in lunch, a lunch group, and yeah, just busy, lots of busy but fun, hang out in community, best way.
And I guess that was the main thing with all of this, is that it was people orientated, and a lot of it was being together, and a lot of face-to-face contact, and all of that. So what are you doing now during lockdown that perhaps changes that whole sort of how ministry is done in Faith House now?
Well, so one thing I'm glad about is that Faith House was never one for routine. And you can't have routine, as what I found out in lockdown. You kind of have to be a little, that flexible respond to thing. For about a month, we didn't have any outreach because the social distancing rules meant that no more than 2 people could gather who weren't from the same household, and we were like, how? We can't do outreach because we go out in a 2 and then we meet another person, so we break that rule. And even with PPE, which we had, and it was just like, and then actually the chief inspector in the street outreach area we do outreach in was like, actually the women are still out, they're still needing help, and we're not the right people. So if I write you a letter saying that you're critical workers and proving you're critical workers, please will you go out? So actually the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks nearly, we've been going out on outreach again up in that area, making some really good links with drug and alcohol support and sexual health. And yeah, there's been interesting deliveries to my quarters. And it's been fun because that's where I've been kind of working out of. But so that's been and actually what's been a huge blessing has been, we were running the W course before lockdown, and that actually the people who came to that are actually survivors of trafficking for the purposes of prostitution, and they all happen to be Christian, and but that's not an effective thing to start with the W course. And I've been praying for 2 years for something very Christian specific at Faith House, a group that would be Christian specific. And this has been it. And what's actually happened is, so we have to post stuff to them because they don't have Wi-Fi. And we ring them every week to see how they're doing. And that group has grown, and they're requesting Bible study notes. And yeah, my heart sings for that. So, and we're also now doing food parcels because unfortunately, I'm part of a Pan London group who the Met head up, the police head up, but we're hearing of people making dangerous decisions on empty stomachs, and that can't be within those who are active within prostitution. And so we've kind of responded, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So I think we're busier than normal, which is kind of like how does this happen? But been really grateful. I've got a redeployment actually to Faith House, which has been really helpful. But yeah,
fantastic. So you've got people that are coming in to help you then,
yeah.
which is great. You've already hinted on some of the people that perhaps you are serving who have been affected by the lockdown, and of course so many different people are being affected in different ways with lockdown. With the people that you are meeting and serving, how are they specifically being affected by lockdown? What is it doing for them, and who are they? Obviously not naming them, but so what are the kind of people that you're seeing, and how is it affecting them?
So with those who have experienced trafficking before, their biggest need for prayer actually is that they are being re-traumatized by being locked down, because that's what they experienced in their past, and then they're experiencing it again in a different way, and their brain is struggling to compute the difference, but they're getting there. They're doing amazing, but yeah, that's a problem for them, and it's a huge thing to try and get your head around. And but for those who we meet on the streets, it's just access to support is, so one of our outreach groups are NHS, and they've been quite rightly redeployed. If they get infections, they tend not to already have doctors linked up, so linking them up to clinics that will help out regardless, and we have managed to get those supports, so that's really good. But yeah, it's all tricky, and there are still some of those who are homeless who, yeah, the kind of space of going, how on earth to be homeless and in this coronavirus still, and just trying to get people to the right people to talk, and hopefully something came at the start of this week that might just sort that out. But yeah, whereas we might have had 4 different outreach groups having around one particular outreach area, there's 1.5 and we're the one. So a lot of fallback on that. And what these people are, people who are foreign nationals who've not applied for universal credits, who a lot of them are foreign nationals, or they're maybe English but they've got addiction issues, and yet they're not applied, so their access to money is just ridiculous. And the more unsavory end of that is the more unsavory customers, clients, punters, whatever you want to call them, are the ones who are still choosing to look for that. And so they're just up for more danger, and yeah, it's not pleasant at all for them. It's stuck in a hard place, all of them.
Yeah, and of course you are dealing with some people who are not necessarily at the top of the headlines in terms of the news, and the people that are being most affected, and really interesting, and certainly something to pray for in terms of all of them, but particularly the victims of human trafficking who are coming into this this place where it's so similar, and I had never ever really thought about it, and so I'm quite sure that others watching this will also kind of think, wow, we didn't think of that. So along with the victims and the work, is there anything we can focus specifically in prayer towards in these days, particularly for you and the ministry?
So I'd probably go along the lines of, so Faith House, we quite rightly, and don't agree with prostitution existing, and want people actually to know their worth in God, because we are all children of God. We all have access to that love, and we're like, hang a minute, even if they just how much worth they have, they will exit prostitution. They just can't unless they've got the skills. So you know, people are around them to services support. So what I have seen is different services getting together and putting their politics aside and I suppose more of that, because we need more of that.
Yeah.
More of those, the services just going, oh, stuff what we actually think about other people or other organizations, and we are here to support those people, and for those people to have enough stability somewhere along the lines, enough something with them, enough hope, actually just a glimmer, a seed of hope, that they think that flourishing is possible for them as well as anyone else. That would be my.
And that's the key word there, is hope, isn't it? And bless you. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with us. And just one last question to finish. It's important to realise that not only are there concerns about lots of different people and those at a risk and what have you, but key workers and ministers themselves are equally affected by the lockdown. So I simply want to end by just asking, how are you, and how are you managing in this lockdown?
So most days I'm there and I'm really grateful that I can get out. I have all the PPE and I'm healthy. And there are days, I mean, anybody has those days. So I live on my own, and there are days when I frankly hate that. And I just want to hang out with my friends and have a cup of coffee and not have to take out what feels like a permission letter, or even not have the ability to go see them. And yeah, I'm also learning Romanian, and in last week's class, they were like, oh, where would you go as soon as you could unlock? And I was like, my parents' house. And yeah, just like knowing that actually that's going to be a little way off, because they're over 70. So yeah, that's going to be a long way off actually. And so taking each day as it comes, probably the patience to deal with that.
Yeah, bless you. Bless you. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we're going to commit to praying for you, for Faith House, and for all the work that you're doing. And thank you so much for your help and your service to God's mission in this most difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity as well. It's been really a blessing just to have the opportunity to be asked.